Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to KingPittdawg Racing. I am Kevin, and I'm just going to verify before I get into anything too much here that this is working, because you get a lot of errors here with YouTube, and it's not showing it is on. Yeah, actually, I think it is. Still not showing live, though. Let's see. Yeah, I think. Test. Okay, well that's it. Well, welcome everyone to the announcement video of the HECS 2024 Season 3. I'm going to go over everything that we're going to do. We're going to be kicking things off next weekend. In the fact, the next 2 weekends are going to be at Daytona, with next weekend's race, as you see on the screen here. The 2 for 124, basically a mimic, the best we can do to kind of mimic the 24 hours of Daytona. We're going to start with one race that'll run us into the night and one race back to the day. So I tried to set it up. We got 8 times variable speed and 4 times on the tire and fuel consumption. We did this last year. It worked out really good. So we'll race into the night with the first race, and then out of the night with the second race. So that's where we're going to be kicking it off next Friday night. We'll start with qualifying, and I'm going to touch on all that stuff here in just a minute. But this is the room. If anybody wants to set up their own practice and do their own practice, this is the settings for the room. I'll let it skim through here real quick. It will be Group 2 and HSSR cars, and I will go over those in a separate video. So if you have any questions, you should be able to go in and search my uploads or my live streams for HSSR no later than Monday the 18th. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. That's going to be a really involved one. I'm going to touch on the cars that we're driving next week tonight. So it's a summary of what I'm going to do ahead of time, but I'm going to go right down the list of all of the rules and regulations, and we will go through all of that, and then I will go over briefly go over the cars. We're going to go through the schedule. So hang tight here. I'm going to try to get this done in about 15 to 20 minutes. It's probably going to go longer than that, but let's get moving here, because, and I do apologize everybody who's in the series. I have been down for the count for the last week. I was struggling to race with the guys last Sunday night, and then Monday things got worse. I finally went to the ER on Wednesday. I had a intestinal inflammation, and now I've got something else that added in there, which is causing even more pain than the inflammation did. So so right now I'm sitting on a pillow with a hot pad, and I'm trying not to move too much. So I do apologize again for not being able to get this stuff on. I wanted to get this done last week, no later than last week, and I was completely down for the count all week here. So I am feeling a little better right now, but still not. I'm probably about 75% right now. But enough about me. Let's get into the HECS for the 2024. Again, this is at this point, it is the Holiday Exhibition Challenge Series still. I am going to be rebranding the series this year. So I'm going to touch on all of that here in just a minute. I believe I'm going to be renaming it the Hobby E-Racing Challenge Series. So we're going to be trying to rebrand that throughout the year. We're going to focus more on our cars instead of the crappy BOP that Gran Turismo does, because there's always meta cars, and I can't stand going to a race and you got like 3 cars in the whole race. So there's going to be some things we phase in before. Hey, how's it going, Mr. Steve? Ladies and gentlemen, this is our 2023 HECS Season 2 champion, Steve. And Steve will be wrapping up his series tomorrow evening. I'm going to try to attend that and race that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to. I tried to run Wednesday, and that was not good. But it got my mind off of the pain for a while. So anyway, that is the beginning here. So again, this is Season 3. We started this series off basically as a filler. That's why I called it the Holiday Exhibition Challenge Series, is because we started it off as a filler between the Gran Turismo World Series over the holiday season, and we ran a ton of races in like a month. But we decided to spread it out. Yes, sir. Trophy. We started the the series out again as a quick series, but we ran a ton of races, and it was a ton of work. And I've simplified things, so I'm going to go over the simplification of what we've done, really streamlining everything and bringing it down to a specific format for every race. Again, we're going to be racing here from March 22nd to December 22nd. My goal is to get a race roughly every 3 weeks. It's not always the case, but we're going to do our best. We're going to run it just like we did last year. We're going to have a spring series, of which 6 people will qualify for the fall championship series, and then we're going to run a summer series of 5 races, where 6 more people will qualify for the championship series, and then we will have 2 alternates, and that'll be the people that have earned the most points in the spring and summer series combined. And they will be eligible for the fall championship series. So last year we had a couple of people that were eligible for the championship. That's why I changed it. That never participated. So that's why I changed it. So we consistently get between 10 and 12, and we are going to run 2 classes. I'm pretty confident we're going to have 12 people for our first race here at Daytona. Again, the spring series will run from March 22nd to May 31st, and then the summer series is going to run from June 21st to September 1st, and then the fall championship series will run from the 20th of September to the 22nd of December. And again, we're going to space these out. I don't want you guys to have to try to come and be in here every week, but most of the races will be on Friday nights, Saturday nights, and possibly some Sunday afternoons. I know coming up in the summer, people will want to be using their Sunday afternoons, so I'll try to keep those clear. But some races we may have to do on the Sunday afternoon just to make it so we can get more attendance. Again, these are lobby events that we just set right here on Gran Turismo 7. So those who are watching this video that are interested, and you can please reach out to me. I think we've got a couple of spaces left. And again, I'm always looking for more people, because there's no way people can make these races every week, every time. I understand that. It's a struggle for me to make every race, and I have no life beyond this. So, again, everything that I come up on here are going to be, every race that I come up will be streamed here live on YouTube at KingPittdawg Racing. And I'm going to try to do as best I can. I really struggle with Instagram, but put details up on Instagram at KevinP_KPD. And the reason I do that is because you can follow Instagram really easy without having to spend a bunch of time or get somebody's friend request or anything like that. I also have a YouTube page, Facebook page, that is the HECS Holiday Exhibition Challenge Series, just like it would be spelled out, on Facebook. And I'm going to try to post everything up on there. I'll probably do that once I sign off tonight. I got some things I can post up on there tonight. So we got some pretty basic things. One, we'd like you to join the chat party and be on a headset. That's better for spotting. We understand that some people, we do have some international people that can't necessarily communicate with us as easily. So they will actually be on the headset for spotting, but may not say anything or may not have a mic. That's fine. I just want to be able to address everybody that I can, either on this, if you're going to be racing with us, be on the channel and listening to my instructions, or be on the chat. I really I don't want to make it mandatory to be on the chat, but it's very much appreciated if you can, and it may be mandatory next year, just to try to make it as easy as you can. I think with the series we have, most everybody's on it anyway, so it works out pretty good. We just like to spot for each other and let each other know, and plus I like to, as race control, I like to be able to call things out as needed. Alright, so that group chat, and if you're interested, you can reach out to me and I'll go over that in just a few minutes. There's a couple of different ways, but the chat is HECS S3 official, and it's a long chat, so you can scroll way back in it to find information, and just pay attention to the 2024 information, because there's a lot of new stuff this year. And let's see, almost everything is going to be 3 times tires and fuels unless I specify. Like, this is a special race, so it's going to be different. next weekend, not next weekend, the following week, the Daytona Oval Race, which I'm naming in honor of my father who passed away in December, the Randall J. Pitterly Memorial Race, will be a 400K race at Daytona Oval, and that'll have special rules. And those will be in the Cup cars, which are cars we've developed, and we'll be working on those in the next week or so, just trying to get everything BOP'd on those. What I think we may do is just go max downforce on all the cars, just to make sure that everybody's got the same drag and such. So, again, race control via the chat party. I need you to follow race control commands. As you saw with the lobby that I had set up at the beginning of the video, everything is set to real, light mechanical damage, no cautions, no ghosting, unless we change that around for some reason. But it's been okay without the ghosting, but you just got to be careful, okay? There's a rule I've got, and I'm going to go more into detail. No rough passing. I mean, a little contact here and there is fine, but make sure if you're belligerent, if you hit somebody, move them off the racing line, give them that space back. If you spin somebody out, wait for them, okay? We can't call cautions in this, and I can't penalize you, so I need you to be self-officiating. Again, you can reach out to me. Everybody that's participated last year in the Fall Championship Series automatically entered. So we've got about 12 drivers already entered, so there's a few spots open. I will try to always have a video up. It's not necessarily possible, so the Bible is the PlayStation, the PS app chat, and the chat you can get on the group chat that is HECS S3 official. Okay, you can reach out to me at KingPittdawg on PlayStation Network, and I will go right up to that right now. It's really simple. I've kept them both the same just to make it as easy as possible. Capital KING, capital PITT, capital DAWG. And that is how you reach out to me on PlayStation. Just send me a private message, send me a friend request if we're not already. We'll get you in, and we'll get you in the chats, and you can figure it out. You can also reach out to me at KevinP_KPD on Instagram, but I really, right now, because we're so tight getting into the season, I really want you to reach out on PlayStation Network. Everybody that's going to be on here is going to have access to PlayStation Network. If you want to join us later and you're watching this video and say, oh, I'd like to do that, you can certainly reach out to me on Instagram. I do check that usually daily, but I don't want to miss anybody. Also, if you want to, you can email me. My email is fqccpresident@aol.com, and that's FQ like first quality, CC like Charlie, president@aol.com. So, and then just type in if you can do it, because that's my old business email. So if I get probably 30 spam a day. So if you type HECS entry, just HECS, capital H, capital E, capital C, capital S, all together, entry in caps in there, I will see it. And again, those who are pre-registered, again, everybody that's participated is already pre-registered. But if anybody wants to pre-register, you're going to have preference over people that come into the lobby late. Okay, and we got people that casually join us, and that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. I like to have more competition, and I don't want people to be afraid to come and join us. Let's see. I do review things when there's questions, and if you got something, a question about how somebody drove or whatnot, we did have an incident last year. I did have to ban one driver, and that's unfortunate because he wants to come back, but I just cannot, because he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and especially had one incident where he completely intentionally took somebody out, and I will not tolerate that. So again, if you inadvertently hit somebody, you know, we're not professionals here, okay? And I know that. This is Hobby E-Racing Challenge Series. So I understand that, but I want to try to make amends to make everybody happy, because people this is an emotional thing. People put a lot of time in this, and I respect that, and I want people to feel comfortable coming in and racing with us. So again, races will be reviewed, race points may be deducted, there may be some penalties, disqualification, and again, a full-out ban is possible, but I don't want to have to do that again. If you just come in and race good with us, we're going to be cool with you. We are a good group of guys to race with, And if there's any gals out there that want to race as well, I'm open to whomever. We do tell a lot of bad dad jokes during the streams and some dirty jokes as well, just typical guy stuff. So I am in Northern Illinois, USA. So I'm about 75 miles northwest of Chicago in Belvidere, Illinois. I'm actually in rural Belvidere. I'm outside of Belvidere. But that's where my time zone is, so everything will be based on the U.S. Central Time Zone. And right now we've already switched over to Daylight Savings Time, so it'll be CDT, Central Daylight Time. And those of you who use Eastern in the U.S., we are 1 hour behind you. And we're 2 hours ahead of the West Coast, so the Pacific Time. So you can figure everything else out from there. Again, new for 24... we're going to go the same format that we ran in the 2023 Fall Championship Series, and it worked out really well. I think it's going to really tighten up the points battle. We're going to be running 2-day events. We'll run with what I'm just going to term as MRQ, which is going to be qualifying heat race 1, 2, 3. It's always going to be 1, 2, 3 races. That's going to be a constant no matter what we do. Then we're going to have qualifying and 3 heat races that are shorter than the main races. And then we'll have the second day, and depending on what the main races are set up as, it could be a single race, a double race, a triple race, and I even opened it up for a quadruple race, which we never did last year. We just did double events, which we could do as well. We will do again this year. But just wanted to let you guys know that everything is going to be across the board the same this entire season. And again, we got Super Speedway specials that'll have stage points. We'll be running a pace lap, so the listening to the race control, which is me, and I may add a second race control person, probably Steve, in there that can help make calls. But basically, we will have cautions if 2 cars are involved. If somebody just spins and there's no contact, then you're just going to have to get back up there and wait for the end of the stage.
I'll do it for sure.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I know we talked about that before. So, and caution speed is roughly 100 kilometers per hour, 62, 63 miles an hour. Pit road will be closed unless the field is at a caution speed when at the pit entrance. The whole field needs to be caught up, just like in NASCAR. And we're going to try not to keep these cautions more than a half a lap if we can do it. So, the leader would be responsible for the pace start at the beginning of the race, and then also on caution restarts. Now the front will have a little bit more if we're doing a front restart, and we'll call that out. We'll call that out on race control. So the super speed races has a start zone on the straightaway. More leeway on the front stretch, but on the back stretch, the penalty marker is the go. There's no leeway on that one. It's just get to it and go. So, all right. So that's the pretty basic setup of the series. And I want to get into the changes in the points now, because the points were something I started off with. This point system I thought was going to be wonderful, and it turned out to be a nightmare to try to process. So I've really simplified that, and again, it'll be the same thing we had here in the HECS Fall Championship Series. We're still using the same basic setup where I add together bonus points, event points, race points, and that gives you your total points. So I call it BURP, bonus event and race points. So the bonus points, there's not a lot of bonus points. I've taken away some of those because it's really hard to track and stuff. So there's a bonus point for a fast lap, which I can always find on the results on the sheet. And then main race qualifying, which I have to add up anyway. So there's going to be 10 points for fast qualifier. And then second place will get 9. So you'll be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For qualifying for the first qualifying heat race. And then once I add up everybody's average, which is going to be how we calculate the points, the starting position going into the main race. So the highest average starting position of the 3 qualifying races would start the main race 1, the first main race, if there's 1, 2, or 3, with a 10-point bonus. That would be one. That, again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, just like qualifying, but the 3 qualifying heat races are considered the main race qualifying. So you're qualifying during MRQ, the qualifying night, for the first race. And then the second and third race will do what a die roll invert, which is from short track racing, local short track racing. It really adds a kind of a wild card in there, so you can sometimes have a full invert on the field. And I've got details on that, but it's pretty basic. If we have 8 entries in the field, we'll do 2 die roll. If we have 12, we'll do 3 die. So I have 3 die sitting on my TV stand here. So when we're doing that, we can figure that out as the race goes. Now, the only place that's going to be different is Daytona, because we're running that as a basically 2 for basically a 24-hour race. How you finish in the first race is going to be how you start the second race. Okay, so it'll be a little different than what we would normally do, but you will get the 5 bonus points on that. All right, so just to break down the points here, it's actually pretty simple. Again, bonus points, you got the main race qualifying bonus points going backwards, the qualifying bonus points, your fast lap bonus, and then there's a start bonus after that die roll invert for qualifying heat races 2 or 3, and then however many main races we have. Okay, and again, that can be 1, 2, 3, or 4 main races. Most of them are going to be 3. So you'll have opportunities to get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 bonus points for the top 5 starters. Event points. Again, everything's based on, my goal was to try to get somewhere around 275 points max. So that's what I kind of laid out. And event points, which is your average finish in the qualifying heat races and the main races. Average finish, whoever's on top of that. The event points are 100 for first, 97 for second, 95 for third, 93 for fourth, and 91 for fifth. And then from 6th on down, it's 1 point until you get to 16th, and that 80 for 16th. And then I've got some new points I'm going to go over here in just a moment that we added in because I hated to see people lose so much ground when they just couldn't quite attend event. So I'm adding in, actually changing the name of what I had before. We're going to call them attendance points. I was going to call them participation points, but anytime you mention PP on a stream with a bunch of dad joke guys, it just doesn't work. So I decided to call them attendance points. So attendance points are if you participate in one race or during an event, you will get some points for being there. And those are going to be for each qualifying heat race and each main race. And then you're also going to get event points for that. So, I'm sorry. The attendance points are 75 if you're 17th or below. I'm also adding in this year, and we talked about this again, what I'm calling loyalty points, and that if you run in each of the series, if you run at least 3 of the 5 events and can't make a couple events, I'm going to give you minimum event points of 50, 5 points for each qualifying heat race, and depending on the main event race points, you're going to either get 50, 25, or 15 loyalty points. Okay, and again, that's just because I hate seeing people just because of their real life. Again, hobby e-racing challenge series. So I can this shows up better on paper, but or on when you look at it. So you'll be able to look at that on the PlayStation Network chat and on the HECS Facebook page. So I'm going to do these as try to put everything together in as best of. I've got all kinds of notes on my phone that I've done this stuff with and was able to go in and edit for this year. So now something that is hard to explain, so I want to make sure I know I'm going to have questions on this stuff. So the loyalty points, I can't do those while we're racing or while we're running these series. So I have to do those at the end of the series. So at the end of the spring series, if you've run 3 of the 5 events but missed 2, I'm going to add in your loyalty points for those 2 missed races. Okay, same thing for the Fall Championship Series. The only difference with the Fall Championship Series, I'm going into that final part 2 of the final championship event. I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on. So we're going to have part 1, part 2 of the final championship event, just like we did this last season here a few weeks ago. And I will have those loyalty points figured out, so everybody's going to know exactly where they stand in the points and what they need to do going into that final championship night. So I think that pretty much sums up the basics of the season. I'm going to give you a brief touch on the cars here. I did go through painstakingly. Oh man, water tastes just like metal. So these 3 cars right here that you see on the top of the screen, these 3 GT2 cars, okay, or GR Group 2 GR2, they're actually the GT500 cars from Japan. So these 3 cars are your cars that are allowed for the Group 2, and then we've got the HSSR cars, or I'm just calling them the HISSers, which is our spec cars, our HECS spec cars down here. And this list is huge. These are all HSSR cars I've built. And I'm going to build a couple more on the stream when I do the HSSR stream. I'll try to do that tomorrow. I'm still going to do the Cup Car stream tonight, so hang tight for that, but that's going to be a separate video because I want people to be able to reference it easy. Okay? I don't want people to have to go sit through this video, which is already longer than I wanted to go. So, again, let me just do a quick review. I've got all these notes in front of me here. So, 2024, everything's going to be a two-day format. Again, we're going to have what I call MRQ, which is the main race qualifying night. That's your qualifying heat race 1, 2, and 3, and those will be shorter races. And probably about 50, I'm shooting for about 50 to 60% of what the normal race will be. That's what I shoot for. I want to get us out in about an hour to an hour and a half on qualifying night. And again, there's always time in between because we got to do stuff. So it usually takes about 2 hours. And I'm going to try to be better this year at getting the rooms opened up no later than like 8:45 on Friday nights, 8:45 Central, which is 9:45 Eastern US. All right. So quickly, just a quick rundown now of the dates. Again, we just wrapped up the championship here about a month ago, and we're going to start event 1 here on Friday night, the 22nd, and Sunday afternoon, the 24th. Okay, so I'll probably sign on about 5:30 Central. Get the lobby open, and we'll run some practice, and then we'll get things rolling for the main races at about probably about 6:30. So probably about an hour to get practice, get everything lined up, make sure everybody's here, and then we'll run those races off. Those should be done within about 2 hours. So they're about roughly, well, it's an hour and 24 minutes. That's the goal of the 27 laps. So, let's see. That's the 22nd and the 24th, and then Daytona, we're going to do it the same way. But that's going to be a night race. We're going to do Friday night and then Saturday night on that one. Because that Sunday is Easter and I want everybody to be able to spend time with their families. So we're going to do that, and that will be a night race. The RGP Memorial will start at the night and finish in the night. So those are events 1 and 2. And again, just something I should have touched on here at the beginning of the video. Those who don't know about this, the HECS, I call them events because we have multiple races. They're not really around because we do 2 days, so I call them events. So the whole overall event, and that's where I came up with the event points. So it all ties together. So now that I've clarified that, and again, I apologize. I do not have time to edit, or I would do this much better, people. And I am only about, like I said, 75% right now. I've got some pretty lingering pain right now. But we'll get through these, I call them race weeks here at Daytona. And then once we're through race weeks, we're going to have about 3 weeks. And on the weekend of April the 19th and the 20th, we're going to do the Around the Earth, because I think that's Earth Day weekend. May do 3 days on that one just to make it easier for everybody. But we'll see. We'll lay out the format for that. We're not going to do a part 1 and part 2. We're just going to... That might be our first quad event. Alright, so then we'll go into May and Mother's Day weekend, the 10th and the 11th, so you can have Mother's Day to spend with your family. That'll be Friday and Saturday night. We're going to have the spa, Mother's Day at the spa again, and that's probably going to be HSSR cars again. So I haven't locked in all this stuff, but then we're going to do, again, we'll do it each spring, summer, and fall championship series are going to have double events to close out the series. So then coming up May 24th, 25th, and then the 31st and June 1st will be our double event, and it'll be, I think what we're going to do is on we'll run these, we'll figure those out, but they'll probably be multiple race events as far as like multiple tracks. So again, that is the 24th, 25th of May, and then the 31st and the 1st of June. So that will end our spring series, and by then we'll have 6 qualified drivers for the fall championship series. So we'll start our summer series off right with the start of summer on the 21st and 22nd of June. And then we will have a summer event to the 4th of July weekend. And I haven't determined when I want to do that yet. That might be a Saturday, Sunday thing. But we'll announce this stuff in plenty of time for everybody to make plans. Then July 26th and 27th would be event 3 for the summer series. And then summer event 4 would be right smack dab in the middle of August there, the 16th and 17th. And then our summer event 5 might be just doing that Labor Day weekend. It would be a double event, but doing it Labor Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I don't really want to push into the following week, so we'll make that probably something special. Maybe the KingPittdawg Racing 500K there to finish off the season. That's probably what we're going to do that Sunday afternoon. Then we'll have the Fall Championship Series, again starting in September on the 20th and 21st. Again, this starting with fall works right. Every one of these racing series starts with the season, so it's working out absolutely perfect this year. Then October 11th and 12th, again Columbus Day weekend, so that'll probably be the Italian and Spanish tracks. So Monza and Barcelona, and we might even throw a US track in there because, you know, traditional Columbus Day there is that Monday. And then November 1st and 2nd would be the middle of the season, mid-season championship, I guess you could call it, right before the ever-important election weekend. So that'll be November 1st, 2nd, possibly the 3rd. And then I see right on here right now, U.S. Daylight Savings Time ends that week, so the following race, which would come up at the end, Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday and Friday night and Saturday, would be on Central Standard Time. Just to give you guys a heads up on that. And then we'll wrap up our double event weekend in December, the 13th and 14th, 15th, and the 21st, 22nd. And that is the preliminary season. Of course, everything is subject to change. I am going to end this stream, and then we'll come on and we're going to talk about these cup cars, because I've had a lot of questions. I've already bought one to build, and then we've added 2 new cup cars for this season. And that is the RCF 2014 and the M307. Those are naturally aspirated V8s. The RCF and the Crown are still both going to be they're still both going to be eligible, even though they're both Toyotas. So again, you can run the Mustang if you want. It for some reason has a disadvantage. But I did run this Mustang, the GT350R, at Watkins Glen. It was pretty competitive. So we may have to just keep... I'm not going to put the Camaro any less than 500 horse, but we may add some more weight to it. Because for some reason this car is over boosted. But we'll go over that. And then the Craftsman trucks will be used for qualifying in the first qualifying heat race at the Daytona Oval race for the RJP Memorial Race. That's week 2. And that's event 2. And I think that is it for this video, folks. I probably wasn't as clear as I wanted to be, and I apologize. I'm trying to keep it like in one position here. So I'm going to end this stream, and then I'll come on in about 5 minutes, and we'll start up the Cup Car stream, and I'll go over those Cup Cars and the Craftsman trucks. Again, we still might have to BOP the Craftsman trucks, or put everybody in the Tundra, because we could not get the Ford up to speed last year, and I don't know what else we can do to it, but we're going to go ahead and hit on those here in just a few minutes, so I will go through all of that. I'm going to get preset before I come on, so all these cars are up here at the top, so we can just jump right
over the Cup Car specs.
I will. That's going to be the next video. I'm going to start here in about 5 minutes, Eric. And that way you guys can just reference those videos real quick. And we're probably going to have to keep adjusting these cars as we start testing them here before the race in a couple weeks. So yep, I'll be back on here in a little bit. Again, anybody has any questions, reach out to me, KingPittdawg on the PlayStation Network. And again, it's right here. KingPittdawg, capital K-I-N-G, capital P-I-T-T, capital D-A-W-G. I am going to try to see if I can screenshot my notes or something and post those up on Instagram or on the Facebook page. If I can screenshot my notes, I'll just do that. It's kind of crude, but I wished I had a better way of doing this stuff. Unfortunately, I started doing all this stuff on my phone, so I was kind of stuck with it. I'm not retyping everything. I spent hours and hours and hours going through this stuff, so making sure it was all correct, and copy and pasting and stuff like that, and revising. So I'll get that up.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, sir. I want to keep all my racers happy. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else. I don't want to end this unless I know for sure. So I guess I could just do a quick review. Again, new for 24, we're going to keep with the same format. 3 qualifying races, qualifying heat races, which we're calling MRQ. And then your MRQ will be the starting position for the first main race. Die roll invert on all races beyond the first race either night. We may only have one race, like the RJP Memorial is only going to have one race, but it'll be a 400K race in stages. Okay, and I'll go over those details in that. It's pretty simple, really. We just ran the race for part of the race. We just set the laps for part of the race, and then take the results and start the race up again after that. So we're not going to change with the stages. We're not going to change. We're not going to change, like do a die roll invert on those stages. But you're going to get stage points on how you finish. So if first gets 10, just like the other bonus points. All right, that is it. I'll be back on here in a few minutes. Let me get... My mouth tastes like metal. I'm going to get something better to drink. I'm going to go grab some Gatorade, I think. And then I will be back on here in just a few minutes. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I really would like to see almost full fields every week. I know it's difficult to get to these races, and I try to make it as accommodating as possible. And don't feel like if you want to run the series, don't feel like you got to make every single race. Again, you could run the spring series, qualify for the fall championship series, and not have to run again until September. So, and the same thing, you could run the summer, because the way it'll work is we'll have 6 people qualified, and then the next 6 in points beyond those people that are already qualified, it might be just the next 6 people, but what happens is people that attend all the time, they still score points, so they will get those points, and then you'll have the next 6 people qualified. And then again, there's 2 alternates, so as long as you come in and participate, you got a chance to qualify for that HECS Fall Championship Series. So, and I do provide a trophy for first place and second place and some cash in that trophy when I ship it. So I tried to get a sponsor for the year, but I wanted to rename it. What if the sponsor wanted me to name the series, I wanted to do that. But now that we've announced it, that would have to be something we added later. So again, thanks everybody. I guess I could real quick, just so you guys know, make sure these are the right cars. Okay, this is the GTR. It's the 2016 GT500. And then the Acura NSX Concept, which is the 2016 version. Okay, and these are all the only 3 cars allowed for the Group 2 at Daytona, and then any HSSR car you want to run at Daytona for the second second class. So we'll be running 2 classes. So I would love to see 14, 15 cars in there. I'm willing to go run either class. The one thing I want to make sure people understand, when I do the event points, it's going to be based on the overall finish. So you may want to lean towards the GTR, but I'm sorry, towards the GT500 cars. But if you
splitting up classes,
well, that's going to be whatever you want to run. We'll give you an option what you want to run. If nobody wants to run HSSR cars, we'll run just GT2s, but or Group 2s. But I'd really like to see the 2 classes. I'll run either one. I know there's usually people that'll run either way. It's always a balance because you're the only time you're scoring more points is event points. So what we're going to do is we'll start when we restart the races. I'll line them up with the GT500 cars in front and the HSSR cars in back. And then those 2 classes will get their own version of points. The only thing that'll be different, so it'll be just like 2 completely separate races. The only thing that'll be different is
there are a limited number of spots in each class, I'm assuming. You're gonna have 3 HSSR cars and 10 GT2.
Yeah, I'd like to see at least 5 of each, but I would want to see 12. I would be willing to have 11. I really don't want to do it if there's only 10. So I think we'll have 12 people though. So we're going to have to make a decision. And what I may do is based on backwards on points from last year. Just go backwards and do like, okay, what do you want? You know, you finished. If somebody's in there and then anybody that's new would have to.
Should be 1 class, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so we could get away with 11, I think, where we had 6 in one and 5 in the other. But I really would like to see 12. I'd really like to see 14. That would be ideal. But yeah, I really want to. I like having the 2 classes running. It really adds kind of a wild card there because you got to work around those slower cars, and everybody's got to be alert all the time.
I bet we get 14.
Yeah, I think we'll do good. So again, anybody that's interested, reach out to me. We'll get you in. I know we've had some racers that have wanted to attend, and have schedule conflicts and things like that. I know Friday nights can be difficult, Saturday nights can be difficult, but even if you don't make the qualifying, come in and race with us. We'll put you in the back of the field. It's no big deal. And then once you start that first race, you'll get die roll inverted. You could start in the front of one of the races. So I think that's it for this one. Thanks everybody. Pay attention. I'll be back on here probably about 5 minutes. My voice is going out here. That's not so good when I'm trying to yap for an hour straight. All right, we'll talk to you guys around, in a few minutes. Thanks again. If you have any questions, again, if I haven't made it very clear, reference the PlayStation Network chat. Reference the HECS Holiday Exhibition Challenge Series Facebook page. I will get those up tonight as long as I don't get into like super pain. I'll get those posted up tonight because it's actually pretty easy when I do that. So that's it for now. We'll be back on. We'll see you around. Until then, KingPittdawg. Oot.